Good afternoon. I'm Trista Keaton, and you're watching The Source. The Source was invited to a student media session by the Board of Trustees and President White. We also have a feature on the 2013 DePauw women's basketball being inducted in the DePauw Hall of Fame. This session was brought on after the Board of Trustees meeting where they discussed budget cuts, finalized salaries, and finalized plans for the three-school model plan. Lori White, and head of the Board of Trustees, answered questions about the recent unrest on campus in opposition of the School of Business and the connotations this change brings. Here is the student media session.
We'll announce that later today, and so we will announce it is at this board meeting that the board approves the budget for fiscal year 23-24, and so we will announce to faculty and staff later this afternoon what their raises will be for next year. I want to be at a university where students are passionate enough about what is going on that they want to tell us how to improve their experience. And so I was grateful for students who showed up and articulated a range of areas where they would like to see the university improve. I always say that if you're at a campus where nobody's protesting, it's a campus that nobody cares about. And so certainly all of the things that students have on their list have all been on my list as well. We know that we need, for example, to improve our residence halls, so that has long been a priority on my list, and trying to figure out the resources that will enable us to do that. We certainly know that there are areas of our campus that are not accessible. In fact, I don't know if you've ever been in the building where my office is. My mother, who, as you all know, passed away in the spring, she had mobility issues. She was never able to come up to my office because there's not an elevator there. So that certainly is also on our list of things that we know that we need to take care of. And then we also, as both Chair Doug and I said, we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to improve the student experience. So the list of concerns that students have raised are the list of concerns that we have as well. And so we will continue to work with students and work within our resources and as part of our long-term strategic plan to figure out how we can address all of those concerns. Board meeting, I also invited faculty from the governance committee of the faculty to attend the budget presentation specifically so that we could be as transparent as possible. So that happened at this board meeting. And then with respect to those particular communities that you've mentioned, we are continuing our conversation about how to reimagine the honors program. And so the Honor Scholar program, the director is involved and faculty members that are part of that program. We're also talking specifically with the music faculty about the music degrees, and we have established an advisory board with respect to ways in which we want to make sure we continue to recruit diverse students, and getting advice from that advisory board about community-based organizations that we wish to partner with. How we are aligning our strategic plan with what we hear from prospective students and families. And we actually start recruiting students now who are about in the 8th grade, right? And so we have to look at what are the future interests of students, not only the students of today. And what we are finding is that while there are many students who are interested in music, they are not interested in majoring in music for a whole host of reasons. And if they're interested in majoring in music, some will come to DePauw, and many will choose to go to one of the conservatories. And so what we want to be able to do is continue to support those students who desire to study music more intentionally, and we want to capture all of those other students like me who desire to still participate in music, but don't want to major in music. And so that's what we're really focusing on.
In a ceremony held this past Saturday, the 2013 National Championship DePauw women's basketball team was honored with induction into the DePauw Athletic Hall of Fame. Their awe-inspiring 34-0 season, which remains a Division III record, was celebrated during the event. The Source was present, speaking with players and coaches as they shared their memories from that extraordinary championship run. Here's what they had to say.
And I remember distinctively, we got back on the bus and all of us just were sitting there and just ready for the next game. Like, it was one of those where it's like so many teams, like, yes, we celebrated on the court. You know, we were stoked to go to the championship game. But again, as was kind of echoed through all of this, we were so prepared. Practice was harder than games that season.
The fans that came up to Michigan for the game, the student section, all the parents, the staff at DePauw, like everybody who was there just made it such a cool experience. Everyone was so stoked, so excited, just like Linda's photos of the crowd in the arena. That's what kind of sticks in my mind. And like
as some of the girls mentioned last night, Coach really did a phenomenal job of scouting every team and having us kind of overly prepared to play against them.
It's amazing to get this group back together, to see how successful they are now. It's no surprise. Everything they did while they were here was A+ work, and I'm so proud of them, and it brought back so many wonderful memories.
We now move into the War Room, a segment of The Source, with PAC student and researcher Jake Wood.
Thanks, Trista, and welcome to the War Room. For our first story, Palestinian militant group Hamas, along with local allies, launched a major military operation from the Gaza Strip against Israel last Saturday, October 7th. Dubbed Operation Al-Aqsa Flood, militants began the offensive by launching nearly 5,000 rockets at targets across Israel, including the capital Tel Aviv. After this, militants stormed through the Gaza border wall and began attacking towns and military installations. Targeting civilian and soldier alike, the militants led by Hamas have killed an estimated 1,200 Israelis as of the recording of this episode, and the attackers have also taken hostages. The Israeli response has been equally heavy-handed, with the Israeli Defense Forces launching a number of airstrikes in Gaza, killing thousands who are mostly civilians. Israel also cut off fuel, electricity, and water supplies to the territory. The sudden offensive is said to be a reaction to the increase in Israeli settlements and violence against Palestinians in the West Bank region, which Hamas itself has cited as its motivation for the attack. Clashes and violence are still ongoing in the region, with other militant groups from the West Bank and even the Lebanese Hezbollah joining in on the operation. Whatever the outcome of this, it is clear that Hamas's decision to launch this operation will significantly affect the future of the Gaza Strip and the wider Israeli-Palestinian conflict. For our next story, a conglomerate of militant organizations operating in the Indian-administered state of Manipur have called for a 12-hour shutdown to occur across the territory on October 15th. The Coordination Committee, or CORCOM, which represents 6 pro-independence armed groups in the state, released a statement calling for the total shutdown of all economic and social activities on the anniversary of Manipur's annexation by India, which occurred on October 15, 1949. CORCOM stated that the purpose of the shutdown was to boycott the Indian administration of Manipur and protest against the merger with India. Shutdowns like this are common in the northeast region of India, with it being a common tactic of militant organizations to both demonstrate their influence and to encourage resistance against the Indian administration. Thank you for watching, and be sure to follow us at D3TV on all socials to stay updated on the real news.